buttons are working. We are off to a magical start party, people. Hello and welcome to, I almost said office hours, but there will be no open questions and answers today. Today I am going to be working on the First Responder Kit. So the First Responder Kit is our open source set of scripts like SP Blitz, SP Blitz First, and so forth. Accepts public code contributions and helps you performance tune and manage Microsoft SQL Server, Azure SQLDB, managed instances, hyperscale, all that stuff. So in the beginning, we are going to be, Moore says the mic is really bad. I think it's this one. Let me see. Okay, well maybe, hold on, let's see. No, it's a different mic. Hold on, let's find this out. Oh, that's why. That's powered off. All right, let's get that. Let's. So let me tap on it here. Yep. Okay. So now let's see if that's better. Now we'll see what Morse and Shane say. My little mic receiver was powered off, so it was defaulting to the one that was built into the camera. Good. They say much better. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to be, so today we're going to be working on accepting some pull requests in the beginning. Then I'm going to be looking at SQL Server 2025. There were just some changes to memory grant DMVs. I have not paid too much attention to what the specifics were, but I want to see if it'll help us understand better what's happening to SQL Server when it gets under extreme worker grant pressure, like worker thread pressure, worker grant pressure, query workspace memory. That's what I'm trying to think of. And so in order to do that, we're going to put SQL Server under memory pressure and see what happens. There is no plan for here's what you're going to learn today. I am just working with the garage door open. So let's go get started. So I have up here a remote desktop session into Windows. Usually when I work on the First Responder Kit, I actually work in my Mac, not in Windows. But when I live stream, I tend to do it inside of a Windows RDP session into a VM, just so that it's easier to just show that one display and to show you the tools that you're used to. So we got a handful of pull requests out here outstanding. Reese has added a pull request warning for persisted sample rates. And of course, I always want to be able to test their code to show what it's going to look like. So I usually like working with, we'll do Copilot. We'll do Copilot. So what I want to do is I want to show what his warnings are going to look like if I'm going to test them. So the thing that he was worried about, let me zoom in to show it. The thing that he was worried about catching is he wanted an alert whenever someone had persisted sample rates of any setting. Now I'm probably going to change it so that it only warns if it's not 100%, because I'm more concerned when someone opts out of doing full scans. And we'll look at that code once it gets inside there. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to update stats on a table and persist the sampling rate. Let's see here. Do I only have those two databases? Oh, that's interesting. I don't have the full-blown 2013 database. Let's ask Copilot, because I don't remember how to, I remember how to alter, let's just ask Copilot. Let's fire open, hit the Copilot tab over here, and then I'm going to move this around just a little so that you can see Copilot as I zoom in. So we're going to say, or we're going to ask, here, I'll make myself smaller. There's no need for me to be quite that large either. And move me over here just a little bit. There we go. So let's ask Copilot, please update the stats on the users table with 50% sampling and persist the sample rate. Let's see what it comes up with. Now I have it in read-only mode, so it's going to give me the script to do it. Isn't that lovely? I like this so much better than trying to go through the documentation in order to find it, just because you get good, useful T-SQL right away. I think this is also part of what really is decimating the blog market like a lot of people's views have gone down dramatically if they were just giving syntax instructions. If you were only giving syntax instructions, people can get that now from Copilot. So it's just as a side note, my blog hits actually, my readership hasn't gone down that much in the last couple of years, which is kind of surprising to me. It's still trending at about the same, which totally blows me away. I thought I would have had more of a Copilot hit than that. So let's do that. We'll update stats on that table. Then we're going to turn around and do the same thing on another table. What's another small table out of the database? Because I just don't want it to take forever. I guess they're all small in this table. We'll do vote types. Vote types. And on this one, I'm going to do sampling 100%. Let's see if that works. Perfect. So now I have two objects that are set for sampling. Let's go get Reese's code, throw it into master. Well, first we'll do sp_blitz_index, database name equals Stack Overflow 2010, just to see what the warnings look like before. So there are no problems found before. Now let's go get Reese's code. So for the code that he changed. Oh good, Reese changed the documentation too as well. DK Kimbo says Copilot doesn't give us snarky responses. I know, right? So let's see here. There's new has persisted sample column. Oh, he's not checking out to see whether it's 100% sample rate. All he's doing is checking to see that it is persisted. Okay, so I'm not a fan of that. We're going to have to work on that. So let's get his file. So here's his file. We'll go download it. I wonder where it put it. sp_blitz_index SQL. That's probably in my downloads folder. Let's go open downloads sp_blitz_index. Okay, let's go YOLO it out into production. Woohoo! And then let's try it again. Let's try sp_blitz_index with his new changes, and it doesn't show anything. Okay, so let's go back over and take a look at what his pull request said. Whoopsie daisy, because he might have some kind of filter in here. Well, actually, I could see it in his in the diff on the code. So has persisted update. There are checks out there. There's a check. Oh, okay. So there's this check. Stats with an outdated or a persisted sample rate. So why isn't it showing up in the list? Let's see if he put anything in there. Says you want to check it very carefully. Ha ha ha. Yeah, right. The URL is the best I can find. Let's see what your issue is. So it doesn't seem to work. He doesn't have any instructions about having to do anything fancy. Okay, so there's another. I mean, he doesn't have any instructions about how to test that thing. So has persisted sample equals 1. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do is check to see whether or not his code filter definition. If we are on this branch, then we cannot have. Well, where are you populating has persisted sample? He's not populating it, I think. There's kind of the problem. You have to actually populate it. Let's go take a look at his code and see. Bro pilot. Oh, that's good.
All right.
Bro pilot. Oh, that's disturbingly good. Let's see. He called it has persisted sample. So where's he inserting it? Okay, so here's gathering the stats info with newer syntax, has persisted sample, else has persisted sample. Okay, so he's got it there. Case when, oh, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing this at all because it's going to fail on things like Azure SQL DB, greater than or equal to 15. So I don't like that. Then let's go on further. Has persisted sample. If we're on this branch, it cannot have the has persisted sample column. So what is this branch? Let's go back. This is gathering stats with older format. Gathering syntax. I don't know what led us down that branch. If Okay, so here we go. If parse name. So here's the newer sample. So if coalesce product version is greater than 12 or 11. Okay, so I see where he was going with that, why he copy pasted and reused that, but it won't work. Okay, so there are a couple of pieces about this. So I'm going to go back over the code review, and I'm going to say, I believe it was that spot. There it is right there. So here's the part where he, flow pilot, that's pretty good. Oh, hey, G-Surgeon. So here's the part where he says greater than or equal to 15. So I'm going to start a review, and I'm going to say, this won't work for Azure SQL DB, which has a lower product version. Ideally, rather than checking versions, we should check to see whether the column we want, hello Renegade, exists or not. So let's add a comment there. Okay, and then let's go back over to our code. So that doesn't explain why the code isn't working though. So let's start out with, the other thing that we'll try is we'll go into Stack Overflow 2010 and we'll just run SP Blitz Index without any database parameters. Maybe it's a problem with, nope, see, it's not. All right, so let's try one other thing. Mode equals 4. So mode 4 will return stuff that's not even that important. Yep, nope, we still don't have anything there. All right. So it's time to dig in and see, do a little debugging to see what his check is or isn't catching. So where's his code at? So here's the has persisted sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a debug thing, and I'm going to just say in here, select star from statistics, just to see what it returns. So let's put this into production, and then let's go try to run SP Blitz Index. And okay, so here's part of the problem. We have no rows in the statistics temp table at all. So that would be a little bit of a problem there. So why don't we have any rows in the statistics temp table? Let's go see if we can troubleshoot that. Let's go find our insert into statistics. To do that, we're going to go all the way back up to the top, Control F for statistics. So there's the dropping of the table, the creating of the table, insert with newer syntax, insert into there. Where's our from clause? From sysstats, sysindexes, cross apply. So there's no filtering on here, so it should pull data back. There's no filtering to say like only objects of a certain size. So let's come back up. Use quote name, use database name. So let's go take a look at the contents of sysstats, sysobjects, and let's just pull. We'll grab all this stuff. Actually, let's try SP Blitz Index with debug, because I don't know, debug equals 1. I don't know if it'll return the queries for stats. So here's index columns. Let's look for statistic. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to find in here. I guess I can't do that. I can't find in the window. I can't find in the results window. That kind of sucks. How have I been working with SSMS for this long, and I don't know that you can find in the results window? Statistics. Okay, so this is what I was afraid of, that we're not returning the query to insert into statistics, like we're not doing it for debug purposes, or we're not running it. It's possible we're not running it. Okay, so let's go see if we do the debug on the stats query. People are like, why can't you just accept the pull request? How hard can it be? Well, now you kind of see how hard it can be. So it does have it. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be doing the debugging of this. So why is it not inserting the data into statistics? If mode not in 1 or 2, if skip statistics equals 0 and db, what the what? If skip statistics equals 0, is skipping statistics on by default? Let's go take a look. Come back up to the top, and skip statistics is on by default. Whose idea was this? Okay, so this is why when you send in a pull request, I prefer to get a script to show me the error, the problem that you're facing, and the results that you expect. If you don't give me a call stack and a way to test your code, I'm going to have a really hard time. You're wasting my time. I appreciate volunteer code requests, but if you don't give me a call stack, so help me God. Try to be a nice guy. So let's go skip statistics equals 0. Let's add that in there into our call stack and see what we get. So now for our debugs, let's go in and see, do we have statistics? Yay! Now we actually have statistics. And is there anything in there about persistent sample? There is stuff about persistent sample. So now hopefully if we turn off debug and we run it, we should get the warning about persistent sampling rates. We do. Perfect. So it says stat sampling rate has been persisted here. 49% of the rows have been sampled. Okay, so our work is now getting closer. The next thing we want to do is I only want to return this if the persisting rate is anything other than 100%. So let's go down to where we're doing the check. So here's our check with a persistent sample rate. What I'm going to say is in here, plus, we don't, let's move this over here so y'all can see me type. We don't really want to warn if the update, if the persisted sample rate is 100%, do we? I don't see how that would be a problem. That's usually the guidance. You know what? I'm kind of tempted to say we do want to alert about it. It's not necessarily a problem. So people with thousands of stats are going to end up with, Richie, the problem with thousands of stats, or people will end up with thousands of rows if we don't have a design. Okay. So in most situations, I don't want to warn people. Okay, so imagine a production environment where the DBA has decided to persist sampling rates. I don't really care what the rate is, could be 10% or 100%. But in this scenario, they'll have hundreds, thousands, or more rows in the output, all warning them about something they actually want. How about we add a new parameter called desired statistics sampling percent, integer, default to 100. If that way, we'll only alert on the percents that vary from their standard. Okay. Add single comment. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's review changes. I'm going to say, this needs to handle Azure SQL DB and a default sampling rate as shown in the comments for the pull request. I'm not saying you have to code it, Reese. I can code this later, but just making a note and moving on during a live stream. So we'll request changes and come back, submit review. Okay, so I'll leave that, and then let's go on to the next pull request. Oh, hey, who subscribed? Why isn't it showing the subscriber? Oh, let's see here. Let's go over to Jim Van Out. No, that's the wrong thing. Oh, it's Benjamin followed me. That's what it is. Let's copy paste that alert out from somewhere else. Give me just a second. Most recent follower. Nope, it's not over there. It's over there. Streamlabs alerts box. Let's put it in over here. And then that way I will have a celebration whenever the next person comes in and subscribes. Okay, there we go. Or follows. All right, back over to here. So that's that pull request. Now let's take a look at the next pull request. Fix for SP conversion info length. SP Blitz cache breaks if the SP... I think this is implicit conversion. Let's go take a look, see what he's doing. Left. Oh, it's trimming. It's trimming where stuff gets too long. Trimming for a statement that gets too long. Okay, that looks good. That's actually really simple. I don't need to do anything there to test that one. I'm fine with that. Just glancing to make sure that, yeah, that's fine. Review. Thanks for the pull request. Looks good. Merging into the dev branch will be in the next release with credit to you in the release notes. Copy, approve, submit, and merge that pull request. We will assign it to dfork, and we will put it in the next release milestone for October, and then merge it. Confirm the merge. Let's go over to his issue. We will assign it to dfork. We will throw it in the October milestone. And that works. We will paste that here and close it. There we go. Those are nice and easy. All right, next up, update SP Blitz to skip checks on managed instances. This is really smart. So there are some, so Azure SQL DB managed instances, not all of the checks in SP Blitz are relevant. So let's assign it to Power Class. And then throw it in the October. Well, before I throw it in the October milestone, I should check and make sure that the changes make sense. Okay, so what checks is he recommending that we skip on managed instances? He's recommending that we skip the ones on agent alerts, max memory set, database owner is anything other than SA, agent alerts, agent failsafe. Let's see here. Who says that? DK Kimbo says, do you really see 100% persistent sampling rates across the board often? No. Usually I do not see persistent sampling rates at all. But when I do see them, when I see persistent sampling rates, they're almost always 100%. It's rare for me to see someone persist lower rates, because if you want lower sampling, that's what automatic stats updates are for, because automatic stats updates default to sampling anyway. So if you're okay with sampling, it's not like you have to say update stats and you're expecting it to do a full scan because the object is small. And you said, no, it's a small object, but I only want 10%. Usually, if you would be wanted to be warned about this issue, it's because you have a large object and SQL Server sampling it. Somebody decided to persist sampling rates and they went too low. Or if you want to set a desired percent, that's totally okay too. I'm fine with people setting it at whatever they want. Because there are times when I can imagine you would want to persist a lower sampling rate. Let's see here. Trace flags on. That's absolutely true. Managed instances does go wild and crazy with the trace flags. Agent alerts, unusual addition, remote DAC disabled, backup history, instant file initialization. All those are great. Those are great. Those are all perfect. Make sense. So I am going to approve that one as well. We will say thanks for the pull request, approve, submit review. And then for the milestone, this will go in under the October release. We will merge this bad boy and then confirm the merge. And then let's go over to the issue and assign power clause and throw it in the October release and paste that in here. Comment. Oh, my trash guy is here. Today's bulk pickup. My camera, like right on the other side of this camera, is my window that looks out into the street, and so I can tell when things like the trash guy is here. DK Kimbo says, speaking of trace flags, we just learned that turning on poly-based services causes SQL Server to add 38 trace flags automatically. 38? Good night, 38. All right, next up, added usual owner of jobs. Okay, so this is kind of tricky. So and he had an issue in here. I'm going to open the issue just so that you can see it. In SP Blitz, we warn you if agent jobs are not owned by SA. Because our usual logic is if somebody quits their job, gets hit by the lotto, as a friend of mine used to say. I love that expression. Instead of saying get hit by the bus, they say get hit by the lotto. Then you don't want their user account or permissions to cause SQL agent to have problems running the job. So usually people just say set it to SA. However, if you don't have SA in a shop, you may, or you set a default, this is the person that we want to own the jobs. And the reason behind this is that by default, whenever you create a new SQL agent job, the job owner is set to you automatically. And so people don't notice that, and the jobs get ended up owned by people. Okay, so this James Davis Aviagen, that's kind of a cool Aviagen. I wonder if that's a company or a last name. Added a new parameter to SP Blitz for usual owner of jobs. Because this says usual, my first guess was usual, that's a dumb name, but we already have it for usual DB owner. I'm going to go back and change the other pull request note to say usual sampling rate instead of whatever desired default thing that I set in there. Let's make this usual statistics sampling percent as the name to match what we did in SP Blitz. I don't know that we have anything like that in SP Blitz Index. I don't know that we have something that says anything like desired or usual. Nah, so we'll just stick with the same one that we're using in SP Blitz. Comment. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so usual owner of jobs, sysname equals null, perfect. Love it, oh, it's so good. If the usual owner of jobs is null, set it to SA. Then let's go down to, so what I love is he uses this instead of hard coding SA because this will automatically inherit if you rename SA. It'll rename to whatever you renamed SA as. That's genius. I love it. Fantastic. This is really nice. Oh, it looks like it was already that in the old version. Okay, whoever did that in the old version was genius. Okay, I love this. This is good. So we will say again, thanks for the pull request. That's a nice and easy one. We will submit the review. We will set this just defined to James, and we will throw this in the October milestone. You'll notice that I haven't even tested these last couple. I do a round of testing whenever I'm done with multiple pull requests, just to kind of make it easier. So did I just paste that in here? I did when it was already in here for that. That was kind of stupid. Merge pull request, confirm. Let's go up to the issue. issue, and then there we go. Assign James to it, and set the milestone, and say paste, close with comment. There we go. All right, good. We'll go in and look just to see what the other issues are in case people have submitted things like without code or whatever. As people, it's lock. I added a lock with an extra E, like it's the philosopher. As people, it's lock. Let's save that. Let's go back to issues. Database restore documentation. I said, sure, if you'd like to change that documentation, we'd welcome a pull request. I haven't heard back from you, so I'll go ahead and close this issue. If you'd like to submit a pull request, feel free and I can reopen this issue. Close with comment. Issues. SP Blitzlock output table name. Well, you can define, let's see here. Well, you can define output table name for the core and horizontal. This parameter is hard-coded without any relationship to the table name. If you want to stay with naming for both output tables, your workaround is to change it with your own with every update. To me, adding a findings would be sufficient, but it would be incompatible with existing deployments. Yep, so he's got, it would be nice. Hi, I wish I could build everything folks ask for, but like we mentioned in the code, in the contributing guide in the repo, if you ask for a feature, you need to be prepared to build that code and submit a pull request. Open source is driven by volunteers, and unfortunately, we don't have the free time to build stuff that other people want. We're busy building the stuff we want. Nothing personal. If you decide you'd like to contribute the code, by all means, we'd like to have it. Just read the contributing guide and the repo. Close with comments. All right, there we go. Issues. I try to be polite about that, but people are like, oh, you need to do all the work for me. So let's see here. I gave this guy a bunch of steps. Hi. I haven't heard back from you in a couple of weeks, so I'll go ahead and close this issue. If you find the root cause, feel free to add it, and we can go from there. Thanks for understanding. Close the comments, and then go back over to issues. All right, so there we go. So we got the one outstanding remaining around persisted sampling rates. Now, when we, so I'm happy with where that's at. We're down to that one pull request that we need to work on. One thing that I could do, I'm looking at the clock. We've been going for like half an hour. So now I could go further on changing this code and working through it. I'm not going to do that though, because we saw that already. Goodness, excuse me, holy smokes. I walked you through the code already, so we know roughly what work needs to be done. There's not a lot of value to me doing that on stream. What I'd rather do is work with the garage door open on something else, which is the SQL Server 2025 changes. So in SQL Server 2025, Microsoft introduced some change, and I can't remember what it was offhand. I remember noting this when I was going through the like changed columns in the DMVs. About memory grants. So the first thing we're going to have to do next is we're going to have to go look at what the change was. Then we're going to try to build code to trigger it to see if it, because it may not even actually work. Who knows? You know, I don't know. Like what they're monitoring may not be useful to me, or the way that they're monitoring it may not be useful to me. We've got to go look at that, see what happens in order to find out. So let's go take a look. So when I think about what's new, I'm going to try to look in the DMVs first just to see if I can see what it was off the top of my head. I should also reapply the old SP Blitz index. I hate it. Why is it doing that? Yes, open in SQL Server Management 21, always. We'll put the old SP Blitz index back in there in master just to get rid of that. So let's go look at what's happening. And I don't care about like leaving the persistent sampling rate stuff behind. That's fine. I restore these databases over on top of them every time I work anyway. So let's see. Select star from sysdm os memory. Memory health history. That's what it was. So this was new, if I remember right. Let's go Google for it. I want to say this is brand new in SQL Server 2025. I don't even know if it's documented. DMOS memory health history. Okay, so let's see if, yeah, this is brand new because it shows applies to up at the top. It shows what versions it applies to. Okay, provides memory health snapshots. Snapshot time, memory available to the, got a little too close in there. Memory available to the database engine instance for new allocations in megabytes. If this, severity level, values severity of a memory health issue. Okay, so if we're dealing with memory health issues and if we're dealing with memory dropping, where do I want to report on that? The two scripts where it's going to make the most sense are SP Blitz and SP Blitz First. SP Blitz First is generally a health check thing that'll warn you if you're having, or is generally a performance check thing. SP excuse me, SP Blitz is generally a health, goodness gracious, I should have a drink, a health check thing, like overall is the server healthy or not. So I can see checking this in both things. Let's see how much history we have inside here. And my guess is it's probably going to be something like the ring buffers where it goes back 255 minutes. Let's take a look at the documentation and say if it says, each row represents a snapshot, permissions. A snapshot is added up every 15 seconds for a total of up to 256 snapshots. I'm really bad at math. I'm like legendarily bad at math. I'm gonna try to guess, I think that's about an hour. Select 256 divided by 15, or divided by 4 will give us the number of minutes. So yeah, 64 minutes. So it goes back about an hour. Data in this view is reset when the database engine restarts. Okay, cool. So get the top memory clerks in each snapshot. That's adorable. That's so cute. I love that query. Now, I am not going to do the analysis for them of what clerks have been using the most memory. All I'm going to do is, that would be kind of interesting, actually. So first off, what I'm going to do is, do we have any warnings of ugly memory situations recently? So we'll say, so you can see by severity level there, if there's anything in there with a severity level other than 1, then it looks like we have a memory health issue of some kind. So let's start with SP Blitz because this is going to be really easy. All I have to do is I have to check to see if this DMV exists. If so, go check to see if any rows in there have things other than 4 or other than 1, and then respond that, hey, the server's been coming under memory pressure. This is going to be a new check in SP Blitz, so we're going to, let's go get the most recent changes from SP Blitz. Let's open a new GitHub issue to describe what we're going to do. So this is going to be a new feature request, SP Blitz. Add warnings of memory pressure from SQL 2025's new DMV. SQL Server 2025 adds a new sys issue view that reports of memory pressure in the last hour or so. query that DMV and give a summary of medium and high severity memory issues in the last hour. Link people to books actually the documentation. Why do I still call books online? Link people to the documentation to, we should write a blog post for it. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's query that DMV. Let's write a blog post talking about that DMV and give you reproducible scripts to trigger an issue. And then 3, actually I'm gonna move these around a little bit. Cut, paste, so we'll say 1, 2, and 3. In the SP Blitz warning, URL link to that blog post. Alternatives that you've considered: letting a community member write this, but who can trust those bozos? I can barely keep track of Richie Rump. Now, are you ready to build the code for the feature? My body is willing, but my mind is weak. All right, create. So that is assign myself. We will put it under SP Blitz. There we go. Now let's go. So the reason why I said I want to write the blog post first is we may find out that this doesn't work the way that we think it does. 2, once I've written the blog post, by the time the work I put into writing the blog post is going to inform the alerts that I give people in the SP Blitz's warnings. So normally when I think about putting SQL Server under memory pressure, normally I think about queries that demand high workspace grants and then maybe and hold that memory out for an extended period of time. So let's start with this. Is saying, oh, how's the storm season too, Richie? Whatever happened with that tropical storm? I wanted to say that it was storms now. I want to say that it went off to Iceland. Oh, there's a new one. Tropical Storm Ferdinand continues. All right, good. Well, at least there's nothing leaving an empty Atlantic for now. I like that. That's good. Oh, the trash guys are here. And are they picking up my bulk trash? They are. Oh, thank God. Oh, so I have to tell you a story for a second. Oh, it's this button over here. So I have to tell you a story for a second because this is kind of funny. So when Eve came over from China, Eve is so used, my partner Eve, is so used to Chinese prices on things, and Eve is horrified by American prices because things are so much cheaper in China. It's unbelievable. You know, everything that you buy says all made in China. Well, if you go get it over in China yourself, it's like 10 times cheaper. This holds true for like everything. So Eve came over, Eve and I got married, we, have a big house together, and we have a really big, tall living room. It's like a 30-foot tall living room. It's insane. So we looked briefly at getting a really tall Christmas tree. I love Christmas. I do all kinds of like Christmassy decoration type stuff. So we looked briefly at getting a really tall, the trash guys are still here. They looked really briefly at getting, why are they still here? Getting a really tall Christmas tree. Oh, there they go, good. Like a 20, 25 foot tall Christmas tree, because we also have a lot of space. It's not like, we like entertaining. So we get, go shopping for these, and they're like thousands of dollars. And Eve goes online onto China, and they're way cheaper. They're like, I think we got a 25-foot tree that you like have to assemble with steel, and it's a big giant cone. If I remember right, I think it was $150. Like, it was really cheap. Now, it didn't come with lights. It was just something that you just strictly like put garland on and all that. And so for the first couple of years in the house, we put together this 25-foot tree. I had to have huge giant ladders, and we would go up on the second floor balcony to like get the thing properly dressed. This is inside the house, mind you. So we did that for the first couple of years. Ever since, we go to China during December anyway, so we don't decorate the house anymore. So for the last like 3 years inside the garage, I've had all the components to put a 25-foot tree together. It takes up a massive amount of space in the garage. It's not a whole parking spot, but it's like a third of a parking spot. And so this year I finally said, screw it. I'm just putting it all out in the trash. And I didn't tell Eve about that, but there we go. I now have a free garage space. Okay, so let's try writing a query that will trigger a really large memory grant. So the classic example is if I go into the full-size Stack Overflow database and I just query a table without indexes, like if I say select top 100 star from DBO votes, we'll go users. Users, order by reputation descending. I don't know if I have an index on reputation or not. Let's go take a quick look. No, I do not. So I just did an estimated execution plan here, and it shows that I'm doing a clustered index scan across the whole table. So because that will give me a nice, big, juicy memory grant. If I right-click on here, go into Properties, SQL Server. Oh, maybe not. Let's try turning on Control M. Let's execute that and see what happens. Oh, because I'm in a newer, because I did top 101. I did top 100 instead of top 101. But adaptive memory grants is going to come in and save me here, so I may want to turn that off. So SQL Server desires like 13 gigs of, or 1.3 gigs of memory. 1.3? 13? 135? I really wish that they would put decimal places in there. 13 gigs worth of memory. I'm going to go execute the query again, and odds are it's going to have a much lower memory grant this time. Execute. Let's go take a look. It did not. Let's execute it several times in a row and just see what happens. Execute. I may not have a new compatibility level on here. Let's throw it in the new compatibility level. Yeah, we're back in the dark ages of SQL Server 2008. Let's go pop. The goal here isn't to test it in 2025. The goal here is to produce the memory grants problem, so this is absolutely fine. Do I have SQL query stress on this VM? I just set up I do. SQL query stress. And then let's try, Take your time, Mr. SQL Query Stress. Paste that in. We'll put it in the local database under Stack Overflow. Trust the server certificate, that's fine. We are going to run 100 iterations across 5 threads, let's say. Go. So this is going to drive CPU up really high, but I don't really care about that. What I'm more concerned about is SP Blitz Who expert mode equals 1. What I'm more concerned about is SQL Server causing some of these queries to wait for resource semaphore, meaning wait to run in order to get enough memory in order to run, and it is. So SQL Server is holding some of these queries back because we don't have enough memory for them to run. To me, that's a memory emergency. So let's go see order by snapshot time descending. And I really don't need all of them. Let's just look at the last 10. So what do we have here? So here we have in the new memory health DMV, we have a severity of medium. I don't want to know what it would take to get it up to a severity of high. That would be pretty funny. But that's great. So our allocation potential dropped. That's cool. We can see what the top memory clerks were, how many pages were allocated. That's all cool. All right, so now we're going to go in and modify. I'm going to go ahead and stop my load test. We can start that back up again at any time. So now we're going to go change the code in SP Blitz to, actually, let's just do write the blog post first. So let's go into BrentOzar.com, WP admin. I don't think I'm logged in on this VM. I think I'm going to have to log in. Yeah, that's cool. So let me change the screen here for just a second here. talk amongst yourselves. That's the wrong button again. I keep doing that wrong. I need to change the settings on that button too while I'm at it. Might as well do that here. Cam2 Slack, let's move that over there. Let's move this over here. Then what's that different? Let's get rid of that. Delete that action. Now let's go back and get our username and pull our password from my password vault. Like all good tech people, I use a password manager, I mean. Why, right, there it is, okay, cool. Copy, I don't log into here very often because I just have it saved logged in as my Mac. Make sure I log in and that works. Then let's go create a new blog post. I'm gonna look at the date on it. Take your time, WordPress. Let's say under, I went to the wrong place. Hold on a second here. Calendar, let me see what date is open to post a new blog post. Next date that's available is the September 17th. So let me go add a post for September 17th. Now we'll come back over to, come back over here. So the publish date will be September 17th at 13:15. Okay. Classic mode. SQL Server 2025 makes memory troubleshooting easier. We don't know if that's actually going to be the working title or not. Let's throw... Renegade says, are there any difference with memory grants on different compatibility levels? Yes, dramatically different. Then let's see, we'll throw this under SQL Server 2025 for the category. So now let's write SQL Server 2025 introduces a new, introduces the sysdm, it's not DMOS, it is DMOS, memory health history. Memory health history to make it easier for you, for meatbags like you and robots like Copilot, to know if the SQL Server has been under memory pressure recently. To show how it works, let's run a bunch of simultaneous high memory grant queries in the Stack Overflow database. BrentOzar.com/go/query-stack. This gets me the URL. I just always like to link to it, so if people want to reproduce their own demos, they can do that. There it is. Copy and the Stack Overflow database. Copy and paste. Let's write the query. We'll copy paste in our query from over there. Oh, I already deleted it out of there. Let's go over to here and copy it out, and then we'll paste it in over here. Paste. And then copy. And then paste. Those of you who have been through my query tuning classes will understand why that query produces particularly high memory grants. I'll run several of them simultaneously in different sessions and then check to see what queries are running using SP-Blitz-Who. So now let's grab a screenshot of SP-Blitz-Who with expert mode turned on. Sure, we'll go into master just to make it easier for the screenshot. And we'll cut this and move this down further and paste. There we go. And now let's go fire off our friend and go. Then let's come over here. We'll give it a second to go fire off, and then we'll go get, oh shit, whoops, sorry, I try not to, I swear constantly. Those of you who have been around me in person know that when the camera's not on, I swear all the time. I swear constantly. And so it's always amazing to me that I can filter myself as much as I do. So let's move a couple of these columns around just so we can make the screenshot easier. And then we'll move run date out of there. There we go. And then we'll grab our screenshot of this. Oh man, the screenshot's in another window. Hold on a second and I'll move it into WordPress so that we can use it here. Go over onto my host Mac and then I'll upload it from there. Media. And then downloads. SP Blitz Who results. Let's add a media file. We'll drag and drop the screenshot into there. Actually, I'll do both of them just because I've got them, everything's running right here. So then let's run this. We'll move this down a little bit here. And then this. And execute. And then show. Perfect. Okay. Now let me grab that out of and upload that as well. What's that called? DMOS Memory Health History. DMOS Memory Health History. Okay, let's add both of those. Upload both of those to WordPress, and then I can go use them in the blog. Let's come back over here to El Blogo. All right, there we go. Now I can say add media, and I have that's the one I want, SP Blitz Who, results, copy, and paste. I want no alignment, I want send to the media, and 600 by any is perfect. Okay, there we go. There's a picture of SP Blitz Who's results. Take your time. There we go. We can see that we have a query waiting on resource semaphore, which means that SQL Server has run out of memory to give to queries, and queries are being forced to queue up before they can get granted the memory they need to begin running. As soon as our workload finishes, though, that memory pressure disappears, and it can be tough to know that memory pressure was the reason queries were paused or were held at the starting gate, held back at the starting gate. Let's query that new DMV to see what it shows. And now we can add our new media. There we go, there it is. This is this DMOS Memory Health History. Copy, paste, and delete. Should be the same thing down there. Yep, insert into post. Okay, there we go. The severity level desk, when SQL Server isn't under any memory pressure, when the database engine isn't under any memory pressure, the severity level will be 1, and severity level desk will be low. There's no such thing as severity 0 or a severity level or a description of we're not having a memory problem right now. I guess to the Microsoft developers, there's always a need for more memory, and I can't get mad about that diagnosis. So then we're going to say that SQL SP Blitz and SP Blitz first. Now warn you about that, but to do that, I have to actually now go write the code over in the warnings. So to do that, let's go pop back over. Have we been going? How long have we been going for? We've been going, almost exactly an hour. I should be good and take a bio break here because I think it's going to take a while to write the warning. I don't think it's going to take too long. Yeah, let's push on. Let's push on. Screw the bio break. So now let's go write the warning in SP Blitz. So we have our GitHub issue. So it's GitHub issue 3690. Let's go fire open here. Headless, headless headhunter. That's a pretty good name. I like that. Welcome to the club. So we have 3690 SP Blitz for SP Blitz memory pressure. New branch. Create the branch. We don't have any code, so we don't need to publish the branch yet. Let's go open up SP Blitz. So that's under C, GitHub, First Responder Kit, SP Blitz. Okay, so I'm not going to give a background on how the code. Thanks for resubscribing, Renegade. 34 months, that's really cool. So I'm not going to give a tour on how SP Blitz's code works. What we're going to do is I'm going to say, do we have resource semaphore? Yeah, we do have checks in here for resource semaphore. This would be a new check, so I have to edit the documentation. Let's do that. Let's go over to documentation. Whoops, not under development, just plain old documentation. SP Blitz checks by priority. Let's open with Notepad. And then we will say current high check ID is 269, so let's set it to 270 and then 271. Howdy, Code with Sean. Good to see you as well. So where would this be in terms of warnings? Well, it looks like it lines up perfectly here with this priority one set of warnings, memory dangerously low. So let's say right in here, we'll copy paste that. Memory dangerously low. You know, it doesn't have to be a new URL. We're going to say memory dangerously low recently. This is going to be, I'll call this mem history. And this is going to be check 270. So I need to set that URL, brentozar.com/go/memhistory. So we're going to set that to the URL in the blog post. So the URL in the blog post is going to be, I can copy this, but it's kind of weird how this works. When I go to paste it, it goes to this weird little preview URL, which is kind of BS. I don't want a preview URL. I want the real, actual, full-blown URL. And I'm not going to get that until I schedule a post. So I have to do something that looks a little goofy. I am going to say, not you. I'm going to just track in another window. Let's go put it over here. New, HTTPS, www.brentozar.com, archive 2025-09. Then I'm going to copy that URL, copy, okay, paste. So there's our URL, copy. Now let's go into my redirection plugin. So tools, redirection, open that in a new tab. And we called it go memhist. So let's say add new, go memhist, memhisty. Target URL is that, ignore all parameters, go. Okay, there we go. So we got that short code in there. We have our post done. Now let's go back over here to the code. So let's copy out. I'm going to make the code a little bit smaller so that we can fit more on a page. So here we go. I'm going to put it in just because it's really close to the resource semaphore weights up here. I'm going to put it in here. So I'm going to copy a check right below it. Copy. And then I'm going to paste it. So here's the check on the screen is the one that we're going to be ripping off and starting with. So this one was check number 270, and the findings are, so 270 is check ID. It is priority 1, low memory. What was the name of this thing? Low memory dangerously low recently. Memory dangerously low recently as findings. The URL we're sending people to is memhist. Now, instead of going from all this stuff around the from, we're going to ditch this and rewrite it from scratch because all that's, and we're also going to rewrite the warning text that we're showing people. So we're going to say from sys dmos memory history, health history. Okay, now the fact, we also have to check to see that that exists. So not only do I have to check to see that this exists, we also have to say and exists, select star from sys all objects where name equals dmos memory health memory health history. Let's go check to see if that actually exists. I got to finish it with a quotation mark there, Speedy. Dun, 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 dun. Just for the love of God, will you get to the right place? Execute. There we go. All right, so if that exists, then go run the memory dangerously low, where severity level is greater than 1. Where severity level is greater than 1. Group by, because now, cult says stored procedures are evil. Yeah, okay, whatever, says the guy whose name is in a cult. You have completely ill-informed guidance as to what is evil when you're in a cult. That just is kind of obvious right there, buddy. Welcome, Typing Bruno. So we're going to group by severity level and severity level desk. So why am I doing that? I'm going to tell them the number that have happened. So they may get duplicate rows out of here. So we're going to say someone. Let's do this as a cast. Okay, so cast someone as this might be nvarchar. nvarchar 10 plus instances of plus cast severity level desk as nvarchar 100. I don't know what it is. Plus, so what are our options in there? It's going to say like either medium or high. Medium or high severity level memory issues reported in the last 4 hours in sys dmos memory health history. Okay, so that way it'll produce one row for like medium and one row for high. I'm putting the DMV in there, and then we're also going to link to that with the blog post. We'll tell them where to go to get more information. Let's see how that works. So that gives me the URL, the details. I think all that is good. Let's put it into production and give it a shot. Now we have, that should still be in, our memory health has been okay in the last few minutes, but it's been bad earlier than that. Let's go take a look at SP Blitz and see if our new warning shows up. Are we still running our, we're not still running our load test. No, we're not still running our load test. That's taking a surprising amount. Oh, there it goes. So here we go. Memory dangerously low recently. 47. Were there really 47? 47 instances of memory grant, memory server level memory health history. Were there really 47? Holy smokes. Select star from sysdmos memory health history. Oops. Memory health history where level, severity level is greater than 1. Wow, there actually are 47 of them. Renegade Larson says, would it be a good idea to put in DM exec query stats and so forth? I'm not going to do it only because I'm under time. You know, like I got to watch. I also have a day job I have to go do. So, so if other people want to enhance it, they're welcome to. I just got to put in the bare bones to at least get the process started, and then people can enhance it. Yet another LLM says, hey Brent, what can I do on TempDB metadata latch? What you can do is go ask yet another LLM. Unfortunately, I'm not doing open Q&A today. Today we're actually doing development. Okay, so I have that working. I'm happy with that. And I know just from writing the query that this is only going to produce rows when it's greater than 1. If it does produce multiple rows, I'll end up getting multiples in here for different levels. So like 1 for 2 and level 3. So I'm not worried about testing that one. I'm kind of okay with that. This is one thing I didn't say 270. That should have been 270 right there. Okay, perfect. So I am happy with that. Let's ship it. Let's go back over to GitHub Desktop. Now, I always like looking, whenever I'm doing code changes, I always like looking to just make sure that I only got the changes that I wanted. So I got that memory dangerously low in the documentation. I only changed that part of the code, so we're good to go there. I'm going to say number 3690. Oh, I should have done this in SQL Server Management Studio. Management Studio 21 has GitHub support now. And so, but I don't have the ability. Well, I'm not going to go into there now. That's not the point of training in here. 3690 SP Blitz memory pressure. Add warning about low memory recently. Closes number 3690. We will commit that and publish the branch and do a pull request. And this is assigned to me. This is under the current release, and create the pull request. And then, so we got that all set up. That's all good to go. We will merge the pull request, confirm the merge, and then we will go pop back over to the issues. 3690 is now gone. It automatically closes itself. Let me go back and put that in, that issue in the October release. Okay, there we go. Now, I didn't put it in SP Blitz first. I want to put it in SP Blitz first as well. So let's create a new issue, open link in a new tab. Let's go copy this out, copy. And this is a feature request. This is SP Blitz first. Then back over here, we are going to edit this, edit, copy, and paste that into a new issue. Paste. In the SP Blitz first warning URL, link to that, and create, assign myself, and milestone will be in the October release. This also tells you the fact that it's an October release and the blog post isn't scheduled until mid-September. This can't go live until the blog post goes live. So now why did I do it as a separate issue instead of putting it in the other issue? Well, I also have to change the documentation for SP Blitz first, and the way that I'm going to test it is also different because I'm going to do a slightly different version of it for SP Blitz first. I'm going to have one warning if the problem is happening right now. I'm going to have another warning if it's happened recently. So with that, given that, because we've been going for like 76 minutes now, given that, we should probably do a break here to go refuel our tasty beverage. So I'm going to do I believe it's a 3-minute. Let me see how this works. It's been a while since I've run an ad break. Let's see here. So what's this do? Righty BOU, 3 ads. What does this do? System website 3, perfect. Yes, so this should play a 3-minute ad or do 3 minutes of ads. So I can go run to the restroom and whatnot. I'll be back in 3 minutes and we will code it for SP Blitz first.